The problem that we're trying to solve here is that about 25% of our children born with a cleft in the lip and palate end up with the middle part of their face not growing as well as the rest of their face. The front and bottom of their face grows out, but this bit doesn't grow out as much. And most of these children, when they're young adults, want us to correct that. And they need a fairly major operation to pull the middle part of their face forward before we make any corrections to their nose. And we know some of this is caused by the surgery itself and the timing of the surgery itself, but it's also become very apparent that it's also in some of the children due to the shape of the way their cleft was when they were born. They're all very different. And we've taken models of these babies when in the first 3 months of life, usually when they're having their first lip operation. And we've made all kinds of measurements, and we've been able to plot the ones which will have poor speech. But we've never been able to see what it is that shows us which ones have poor growth. And I sought out computer scientists throughout the UK. It was only finding Reyer's team that I found a team that was able to crack this problem, because he has managed to solve problems like this historically in the UK with breast cancer mammography. And I wanted to give him a unique set of models from about 500 children in the UK that he could use three-dimensional computer vision graphics on.
We were contacted a number of years ago, 3 years ago I think it is now, by Bruce, who's actually a surgeon in Birmingham, and he was actually looking to actually find solutions for cleft lift babies. After the operation, their palate actually grows, and some of them actually don't grow optimal, and so they might actually need an additional operation when they actually are about 12 to 15 years old, I think. And to avoid that, we want to predict the babies that actually are in that category, and so they can actually have an additional operation earlier on, and that actually is clearly better for the patient. We've actually got some prototypes at the moment where we can actually identify key points in the baby's cleft, and we can actually use those to actually do predictions, or start using those to do predictions.
So what we have is they are plaster molds of children's mouths prior to having surgery, which is normally conducted when they're very young. And there has been existing research that have showed that there are 6 anchor points in these molds. And it has been shown that these 6 points can kind of determine if the likelihood of bad growth. So what we can try and do is try to predict these landmarking points automatically using some sort of machine learning algorithm, preferably in the computer vision domain, to mark these points out, and then we can extract them and therefore do the calculation to make a prediction.
So I think the impact would actually be that we would avoid additional operations in children of 12 to 16 years old, and I think that would actually be beneficial for the patients themselves, for their families, and clearly for the NHS as well.